Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM, and it's a model which is modded in 1/72 scale. So we get here the truck, it's a ZiL-131, but this version comes with a machine gun in the rear section. So in 1/72 scale it won't be a huge build, but it might be interesting for some modders who would like to have this version in their collection and they don't want to take the whole shelf just with the one truck. And of course what I have here on the table, that's the final shape of this release, so nothing will change and you will get exactly the same thing if you order it from Modelimex, for example. So you can see here also the kit number, it's 72821. The box art is quite nice here, and this is the comparison with my hand. So the box size is pretty much the same as in the previous 1/72 scale trucks from ICM. Here on the side you can see also some information about the kit. So it's written that we get here the 100 parts and the length of the model will be 98 millimeters. As you can see, there is a small typo for the length. And then from the opposite side you can see also two marking options for this truck. So as usual, box is sealed with the tape. So if the tape is cut through, it means obviously that the box was opened before you, and it might be a good idea to ask why, and also to check the parts if everything is intact. But this is of course up to you. If you trust seller, then it's nothing serious. And I remind you that before ICM kits were supplied without this tape. It started recently, well, relatively recently, and that's why it's nothing serious. So here you can see also the color printed top cover. So even though the box is small, we still get pretty much the same design as on the large releases. And here is what we have inside. So as you can see, all frames are packed into the same plastic bag, and I just need to open them and we will take a closer look together. So just give me a moment. I can see a lot of small parts, so do not underestimate this kit. This is a 1/72 scale truck after all, so that's why it might be good to get a good magnifier glass if your eyesight is not as good as it was before. So I'm zooming in and we are starting with the front cap. So as you can see, it's a one-piece part. We have the bonnet pre-molded, we have both doors also pre-molded in place, and well, it means you won't be able to open much, but as you can see, at least the grille is throughout. And also if you wonder where is the floor panel, well, here it is. And as you can see, the interior is also relatively simple, but that's because the doors won't be openable, so you won't be able to see much through this really tiny openings. But the fitment is really good, so even the dry fitment shows that the parts fit nicely together and there is no issue whatsoever. Next, we have the plastic road wheels. So these ones are supplied on this sprue, as you can see here. The plastic wheels are obviously better than the vinyl parts, and these parts should be easier to paint and weather, and I think it's really good. As you can notice, there is no imitation of the weight, so this is something to remember, but I think otherwise it's more than okay for a 1/72 scale build. Next, we continue with the small frame for the rear section. Here I have to zoom out a bit, and you can see that these are separate wooden panels. Obviously there is no wooden texture whatsoever, but at least we have this floor panel molded together with the support chassis. And this is quite important because you get the right alignment of these parts out of the box, and it should also help you to speed up the assembly process. But overall, molding quality looks fine. I mean, it's something what you would expect from 1/72 scale release. Next, we continue with a set of small parts on this sprue, and here you can see the fuel tanks and also some thin pipelines. So with this I would recommend to be careful. Maybe in some cases it would be wise to replace them completely with a metal wire. If you have the similar thickness, it's definitely a good way to go because such parts will be easier to handle and install. And of course you won't have to clean these thin parts and waste your time trying to get a bit more precise cleaning. And next we continue with the sprue, which is interesting because of this one-piece main chassis. As you can see, it's a single-piece part, And I think it's again a smart decision for the design of this truck, because you get the right alignment, you don't have to work with the separate bars, so it's quite good. Here you can see also the bottom part of the gearbox, and obviously there is no engine included because the bonnet is molded shut anyway, but at least the suspension and the wheel axles are looking decent for this size, so here I didn't have any complaints. And here you can check those parts from the opposite side, so everything looks fine. And we can continue to the next and the final gray plastic sprue. So this one is the main difference from the previous versions. It's the machine gun, and as you can see, it's molded together with a turret on which it will be installed in the rear section. So basically you get everything in one piece, and you just need to install it into the truck. So quite a simple thing, but maybe it's a good idea to play a bit with the weathering and maybe with imitation of the metal surfaces, because this will be the most noticeable thing on the truck. So that's why it might be worth spending some time. If you wonder where are the clear parts, well, they are packed into the separate plastic bag, and here they are. They're looking good, but I think the masks are not included here, so in case you would like to have a nice paint work on your truck, then definitely go for masking and cut them by yourself. But first, before we check if assembly manual actually has the masking templates, we have also the decals sheet. And here it is. We have, well, these are not stencils. This is a digital camouflage which is usually applied on Ukrainian trucks. We also have several types of the license plates, various warning signs, and of course some of these digital camouflage parts or sections, they will stay in your spare parts box, and they might be handy for the future builds. So this is definitely a cool bonus to have out of the box. And for the assembly manual, this one is, I would say, standard for ICM. And I'm zooming out so that you can see the whole brochure. So here we have the short history note, also technical specifications. And then inside you can see also the parts map. And assembly process starts with the road wheels, then straight away you move to the front cap. And with the front cap, as you can notice, it's a good idea to plan in advance how you will be painting all of this stuff, because later it will be very difficult to reach some areas. And then here you can see also how the exhaust is assembled, so these thin lines were actually for the exhaust. Next we continue with the mud guards and the fuel tank, and here you can see the spare wheel and the storage box, machine gun assembly, and then all of this stuff gets together onto the main chassis. And here you can see the two marking options which are included here, but obviously you're not limited with them. You can find some reference material on Google, obviously, and there are a lot of photos with this truck, so I'm sure you'll find something interesting as well. And as you have noticed, the assembly manual does not have the masking template, so for masking clear parts you'll have to do it yourself. But overall I think it's a really cool small release from ICM, which should be already available, and of course I will be happy to hear your opinion. So what do you think about such sets? Write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.